Hey, what's up everybody? No, you did not get the wrong channel, or you did not get the wrong video. YouTube didn't send you to the wrong video. This is Andrew Tech's channel. I am partnering up with Andrew Tech. I am his friend from across the country in wild and wonderful West Virginia. And if you have a chance, just come here and visit sometime. It's a beautiful state. But anyhow, I'm Daddy James. I used to do tech tutorials a while back. They was mostly computer tutorials and stuff like that. But I started to get into filmmaking, and I'm pretty much heavy into filmmaking. I also do music videos. Oh, by the way, if you want to get to the main point of this video, there'll be a timestamp right there. And you just go to that timestamp and it would go to where I actually talk about the bag. So if that's why you're here. But anyhow, I digress, so let's go ahead and finish up telling you why I'm on this channel. We both do a lot of filmmaking stuff. He makes fantastic music videos and stuff like that. Personally, I sometimes think he's better than me, but you know, although some of my equipment's a little bit, I might have a little bit more advanced equipment than he does. I'm not really sure, but I used to think really get in too much of filmmaking and stuff. I mostly did like computer tech tutorials, and most of the time it's just, you know, screen recording on the computer and stuff. I used to deal with a lot of soft-based tutorials and stuff. Then eventually I started getting a little bit more into video tutorials, where I used the camera to pretty much film some of the tech stuff that I used to get. But I kind of got all of that whenever I started getting into music videos, because that took up most of my time. So I didn't have much time to dedicate to the tech tutorial stuff. So I mostly do music videos now, and also I've gotten pretty heavy in the, excuse me, I'm sweating out here, it's very hot. Now I'm pretty much into the filmmaking part of you know, the movie making experience and stuff like that. I got so much equipment on it, I could probably do several short films if I wanted to, because I've been gathering equipment, buying more equipment. Every time I turn around, I'm always buying something that is for filmmaking and stuff to pretty much improve my videos. So anyways, like I said, I got a lot of equipment, and I just recently went out today and bought a brand new camera bag. I've been needing a new camera bag because before I used to have a small little rinky-dinky bag, and honestly, a big fat guy like me with a small little bag looked kind of weird. I mean, I looked like I was a grown adult with a little tiny kid's book bag on my back. Although I'm kind of big, so it still probably looks like that. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit about this bag and how much I actually love this bag. It's roomy, and it fits a lot of my camera gear, and it's going to help me a lot whenever I go out there and film, because I'll have a backpack to put most of my equipment on and leave it on me while I'm filming, so that, you know, I ain't got to set it down or anything like that. It's not a humongous bag, but it is a pretty good sized bag. It'll hold like a 15-inch laptop right here, which I think that's nice. Of course, I probably would never put a laptop in here, because most of the time when I get laptops, I normally get the 17-inch laptop, so it would be actually too big for this bag. Also in here, there's a sleeve for if you want to put a tablet. So you can put like a 10-inch tablet in here, because it's a pretty big sleeve here. So this bag right here is weather resistant. So if you have it in a pretty bad weather, you know, the material is pretty much made to where water just pretty much dry, you know, fall off of it and stuff. But if you want extra protection, to make sure, it actually comes with this, and it's also attached to it. It comes with a rain bag, basically. And now, when I put this on here, it's probably won't be the neatest neatest job that I've done. All right. Okay, earlier I did a neater job than this, but this is basically what it would look like when you actually put this this raincoat on it. So now, of course, when you go put it on your back, this top part right here might try to slip off of it, and you know, you're like, let's say snowy weather or something like that, and it's snowing real hard, I suggest you use this. Same thing, try to avoid rain as much as possible. Me, I always do that. If it's raining or something like that, I will not film. I pay a lot of money for my equipment, and I'm not going to film anything out in the rain unless I have some kind of adequate protection or some kind of gear to pretty much block the rain and stuff. So, all right, let's go ahead and see what else is in my bag. I like how these right here kind of snap off, so which that's kind of nice. On the front here, you have like a nice little pouch. All right, and in this pouch, I have a little SD card, I guess it's a container or sleeve or something like that. It's kind of nice. I got it from Wish. I don't always highly recommend buying any SD cards from Wish, by the way, because they are junk. For laughs and giggles, one time I bought a SD card from them that was supposed to be like 500 gigabytes or a terabyte or whatever. It was just a 32 gigabyte card, that's all it was. And they just fool your computer into thinking it's a lot more. So never buy any SD cards from Wish. But these little SD card holders, I guess that's what you call them, sleeves or whatever. These are actually kind of nice. I highly recommend these. I didn't pay anything for it. I think I just paid for the shipping, which I think the shipping was like $4. But I will say this is probably worth it. I mean, it's an SD card holder, so I don't expect too much from it. Up next, I got my Tascam case. Now I am actually recording on a Tascam DR10 right now, which is this right here. And I highly recommend you guys, especially if you are in the weddings and stuff like that, I highly recommend this right here. As you can see, this is the sound that you're getting from it. So I really highly recommend this. It's awesome. I love it. I know it can be a little pricey. You might be able to find them for like $150 on sale somewhere, used or something like that. If not, I think they're normally about almost $200. So yeah, they are pretty expensive. Let's see, what is this? Oh yeah, this is, these are my tools that I'll need for my my new tripod that I got, and I'll do a video on that as well. But I got a professional heavy-duty tripod. It's basically like one of those professional Manfrottos, but the cheaper version, which is like from Newer. So I'll end up doing a video on that. Up next, we got KF Concept. And what this is an ND filter. It's a variable ND filter. I highly recommend that because, you know, a lot of times when you're in the sun and stuff like that, these act like sunshades for your lenses, and you want one of these variable ones. The one that I really recommended, or the one that I really recommend, and I don't have, and one day I will have it. Oh yes, I will have it, and that is the Peter McKinnon variable ND filter, and that one is probably like, I think, one of the best ones out you can get today. So if you get a chance to get your hand on one of those, I suggest you get your hands on it. But this one from KF Concept, it's actually a pretty good one. I actually like this one. I can't really complain about it. It has you know, anti-scratch on it, and oh, it also doesn't reflect. Well, I will take it back. It did reflect a couple of times, but not as bad as some of the other ones, because this does have anti-reflect on it. So, but there was a couple of scenes that I did end up getting a little bit of reflection on it. But for the most part, I don't normally get any reflection at all on it. So, so the anti-reflection coating actually works pretty good on it. So, pretty nice variable ND filter. Now I will tell you, do not get the cheaper versions of this. Make sure it's going to say the anti-reflection. But if you want the best kind, I would suggest you get the Peter McKinnon. I heard some of the Tiffins are pretty nice as well if you want to get those. You know, research. One thing I always say is research, research, research. Next is I got a I got the 67 to 77 millimeter step up ring. I believe that's what they're called, step up. Where my lens is actually a 67 millimeter, and I needed to step it up to a 77 millimeter, which that's what this is. And that brings me to another thing too. I would suggest you get a big ND filter and just get step up rings for all your different lenses, so it'll save you money and you ain't gotta buy a variable ND filter for each lens that you got, because these things again can get pretty expensive. Up next, we're gonna go ahead and look at the main compartment where I have my camera and my lenses. Okay, let's first go ahead and get this bad boy right here out. This camera right here is really nice. Absolutely love this camera. I mean, there is a couple of things about this camera that I don't like, but they're normally just minor things. But for the most part, I love this camera and I love this lens that's on this. One thing I'll say about this camera right here, and I'll probably do a little bit better review on this camera one day, or at least talk a little bit more about the camera, because there's probably hundreds of reviews or anything like that. But I'll pretty much tell you what my thoughts about this camera. Love it, I love it. I tell you, if I could marry this camera, I would marry this camera. Wow, love this thing. This is a Tamron. It's a 28 to 75 Tamron lens. I wish it was 24, you know, but I'm pretty much happy with 28. I mean, if I need to step back, I'll step back. Yeah. Which, to tell you the truth, I'm used to filming with a 35 millimeter lens, and that's what I'm filming on right now. On my Sony, there is a 35 millimeter lens. I'm actually used to filming with that, you know, so, and I'm not gonna lie, I've done weddings with just that one lens. And I know people normally want to use different lenses and stuff like that. That's cool if you got them, if you got good lens. But for the most part, I mostly just used that 35 millimeter, and I made some pretty fantastic videos, wedding videos with that lens. I made a bunch of music videos. I think most of my music videos, I know in the last couple of years, was pretty much done with that 35 millimeter lens. So that's one lens I highly recommend, especially if you have an APC size camera sensor. You know, full frame. My opinion, if you get a full frame lens, then you need to get a full frame camera, then you need to get a full frame lens, because I mean, what's the point of buying full frame if you're going to get an APC size lens, you know? But don't get me wrong, even the APC size lenses will also fit on this camera, and they'll do a great job and everything. But like I said, if you want the full frame experience, you got to get a full frame lens. And this Tamron, I can't praise it. I mean, I can't praise it enough, you know, because it's wonderful. 28 to 75, pretty much all I'm going to need at a wedding, you know. Oh, I got actually really lucky. I mean, really lucky, because I cannot find it for this price anywhere. Someone asked me, where did I buy this lens at? Because when I bought the lens, I only paid $599, and I bought it on Amazon from the Amazon website. From the Amazon warehouse. And pretty much coming from them, you know, was, you know, in pretty good condition. When I got it, it was almost like it was brand new. Nothing wrong with it. It was like new condition. I mean, there was nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, I thought I was getting a brand new lens. I thought something might have been wrong with it, a scratch or something, but nothing at all. My lens needs cleaned though, but nothing at all. No scratches, no nothing. It's a fantastic lens. It's I guess that's enough. I'm gonna talk about that lens. I could probably talk for hours about that, but let's move on, okay? Now, I do have a few other lenses in here, and let me hold this back a little bit so I can pretty much show you what it looks like here. So, As you can see, I got, counting this lens, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 lenses in here, and these are pretty good sized lenses as well. They're not the real small ones, they're actually Canon lenses. And what I got is I got a Canon adapter. And this is an adapter right here. And now you might say, well, that's not a Metabones or even a Veltrox adapter. Yes, you are correct. But the thing is, these are manual lenses. I don't need a Metabones for that. Okay, so all my Canon lenses are manual lenses because I was cheap back then, so I mostly gotten Canon manual lens. There's only one lens that I ended up getting that wasn't manual, and that was the Nifty 50. This right here is a 85 millimeter from Rokinon, and love this lens. It's a pretty good lens, although it's shaky as heck. So you better off having it on a tripod, unless you want to get some kind of cool effect for a music video or something like that. You go like that and stuff, but it'll give you a pretty cool effect like that. But like I said, it is shaky. I mean, really shaky. Nice lens, pretty sharp, hard to get focused sometimes, you know. But I've done like a few music videos with that. I got a rubber band over here because sometimes these caps come off. Maybe I think I might need to get one for that one as well. But it's a nice little trick to keep this cap on there. But this is a 16 millimeter, and I've used this lens for a lot of videos as well. This is a nice little Rokinon lens. You get pretty good quality out of this. 16 millimeter f2.0. It does pretty good in low light, you know, because I've been in some low light situations where I needed something there to do good in low light. Also, this one, 85 millimeter, is really good in low light. I think it's a 1.5. Oh wow, it's less than a lot of light. But yeah, this 85 millimeter is a 1.5, so really good in very low light. This one does pretty good in low light at 2.0. So again, this was a pretty good manual lens, but like I said, as of right now, I don't really use those lenses. Neither one of those lenses really. The only lens I normally use now, once in a while, whenever I want to get that effect, is whenever I want to do a fisheye effect, is I use this lens right here, which is an 8 millimeter lens. It's a 3.5. though, so you don't get a whole lot of light with this one, so you can't really use it that well on low light. You'll need to have some light with you, but the fisheye on here is actually pretty nice. I would suggest that you want a really good fisheye, I'd probably use a Metabones with a focal reducer on it, and you get probably a little bit more better results for the fisheye, but the fisheye still is pretty good, even at 8 millimeters. So, this has been a lens I've used a lot, and I've used it on a lot of music videos. So, nice lens. Also got another case where I got some more ND filters and another variable ND filter. Which I think it was a cheaper version of that one. And that's pretty much all is in these compartments right here. And of course you can put a lot more. Also, this right here don't normally come like this. Normally, it stands up like, this one back here. I purposely put it like that because, I mean, this is pretty deep, and I don't want my camera to move around as much. So I wanted my camera to fit in there a little bit more tighter. So I went ahead and put one over top there. So just in case you're wondering about that. One thing good about this bag is that you can kind of halfway take it off, and then let's say you're gonna zip it like this and you only have this part open, you should be able to just pull your camera right out of there and stuff. So, one more thing too is on this part right here, you have a place where you can put your SD card if you have a decent little slot. Now we got to the top part of this, which, don't worry, I'm almost done. We got one little compartment here, and we got another bigger compartment to look in after this. In this little compartment right here, I got my camera strap, which these right here, I highly recommend these. These things are really nice. I actually got a cheaper version of it, but there's a more expensive one of it, and these pretty much, you know, just clips right on your camera pretty quickly, you know, so I highly recommend this. Like I said, I got a cheaper version of it, but the cheaper ones I think work great, so I've yet to have any issues with it. I also got the plug for my camera, because that camera right here allows you to plug and charge directly from the camera. It doesn't have no stock chargers, you know, or docks or whatever where you can put it in. But I went ahead and bought some new batteries. I've gotten some Rave Power batteries, and these are my backup batteries right here. And so far they've been pretty good batteries. I really love those batteries. So I highly recommend that. And of course, I also got my stock battery, you know, from them. These are probably about the best batteries that you can get for that, because they'll hold the most charge. Now, you may notice I got rubber bands around here, and I also got some extra rubber bands. I highly recommend you get rubber bands. The reason why is it will tell you if you have a charged battery. Like, these batteries are fully charged. When I charge a battery, I put a rubber band on it. I got a bag of assorted rubber bands. That's why you see rubber band like this, rubber band like this, and then some smaller ones and stuff like that. And I got some like really teeny tiny ones and stuff like that too. So, but yeah, I highly recommend you, because you're gonna be having batteries after batteries after batteries. And it's hard to remember what all you got charged and what all you don't have charged. So rubber bands, I highly recommend that. Nice little pro tip for you. Now, this bigger compartment right here, I've unzipped this before, and this is a pretty good size compartment right here. And in there, I got this gap tape. One thing I can say about gap tape is that I highly recommend gap tape. It's basically duct tape for filmmakers, but it doesn't leave all that sticky residue whenever you use it. So, highly recommend this. And this compartment is a pretty good sized compartment. If you have like maybe another small camera bag, and you stick right in there, or you can stick probably a couple more cameras in here, depending on what size they are. Like I stuck the camera that I'm using right there, I stuck that in here, no problem. Also, you can stick another camera and add a few more lenses in there. Just the only thing I recommend is kind of like, you know, get some can coasters or something like that, or the little foam things. You stick your lenses in there, stick it in there, and hey, there you go. This right here is little wipes. I use these to wipe my lenses to make sure they're nice and clean whenever I'm filming. Right here is another little compartment where you can put some more stuff in here. Right now, I just got some batteries in there, and I got one of these little bags in there and stuff like that. But that's basically it's all in my bag, and pretty much my review of this bag. So far, I'm loving it. I'll probably do another video pretty much, you know, showing you how it has stood the test of time. But yeah, it's a fantastic bag. I highly recommend it if you got the money for it. Because you know, it's, like I said, it's $140. I think you might be able to get them cheaper somewhere else, for maybe about $130 or something like that. Or you might be able to get lucky to get it cheaper somewhere else. But anyways, that's what's in my bag. Again, I highly recommend getting rubber bands, and if you can afford to get a full frame Sony a7 III, or when that a7 S3 comes out, I've heard great things about that. But I don't know, I'll probably just stick with my a7 III, and I'll be happy with my a7 III. But I heard some really great things with the a7 S3. So anyways, that's it for this video. Until next time, peace out and live long and prosper.